Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. And this week we're talking about the Boneyard.
Which Sydney says is a Thanksgiving movie.
It is a Thanksgiving movie. I will die on this hill.
I was so confused when I watched it, but she explained it to me.
Oh, well, it's easy. If you're an observant person, this is clearly a Thanksgiving movie. You just need to read the signs.
Oh, I knew the signs. I knew exactly what you were going to tell me when I asked. How is this a Thanksgiving movie? I knew what you were going to say. Yeah. I called it.
We'll get there in a second.
Yes.
Okay, so The Boneyard is a movie that came out in 1991. It was a direct-to-VHS movie. This was not shown in theaters, which I'm so sad about because I think it's great. It isn't reviewed very well.
I wonder why.
There are issues with the movie. I think the main one, the most glaring, is the sound design. It is fucking garbage.
Oh, for sure.
It's so bad. It's like you have people sounding like... It's very like what Garth Marenghi did, but like on purpose, Garth Marenghi did it. Uh-huh. This does it because it's bad.
Yeah.
So you have like
sounds... But there were some pretty like famous people in it. I was surprised.
Yeah, like the creature designer, the makeup artist, the director, I think they all did very good. I think the main actress was a really good actress.
Oh no, I really liked her. Yeah. Deborah Rose?
Yes.
Yes. And she played Allie, and I liked her a lot.
Yeah, Allie was awesome. I think she was pretty much the only good actor, though. Well, besides, what's her name? Phyllis Diller.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, because did you ever watch Three's Company?
No.
Okay, so, Mr. Roper, Norman Fell, played Shepard, so he was the guy at the morgue.
He was familiar to me.
Yeah, it took me a minute, because I'm like, he looks really familiar, so I had to look up the cast, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Mr. Roper. So he was on Three's Company for years.
Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, he was in there too. Which it was such a different character for him. His voice was different.
Really?
Yeah, the way he carried himself was different. I recognized his face, but he had a lot of facial hair that he never had in Three's Company. And it kind of threw me. But the voice, the way he voiced this character was completely different than his Mr. Roper character.
Oh.
Yeah, so. And Phyllis Diller, she was in her 70s in this, and he was, I think in his 80s or close to his 80s in it, too. He died a few years later, but she lived for a long time.
Yeah. She's a funny character.
She's just a funny woman. Yeah. She was hilarious. Yeah.
So, the basic premise of this movie is it's actually about Japanese ghouls, which is kind of similar to a zombie, kind of similar to, like, a Wendigo, in that, you know... You have to eat the flesh of other ghouls to become ghouls. And, of course, they want to kill people. Like, if they're not fed regularly, they will hunt for food. And so this man named Mr. Chen, he has been in this family of morticians for a very long time, and he calls it their curse, essentially. And what happens is... his original ghoul that he had got out and created the other ghouls. And so there ended up being 3. Now, what the police found was 3 children in his basement that he was feeding dead bodies to. Which is a really fucked up thing, right? The police people didn't think... I mean, the children were dead, but they didn't think anything was unusual about them because... as Mr. Chen elucidates on later, they're really good at playing possum. Mm-hmm. And the more flesh they eat, the more human-like they become. They can disguise themselves. Now
they are creepy as hell. They're They did a really good job with making the little demon babies creepy.
Yeah.
Even Lauren was like, what in the hell? When she walked through the living room and saw it. I'm like, I know, it might give me nightmares.
Yeah, they weren't really creepy. Mm-hmm. I will say on IMDb, it does call the children zombies. They are not called that in the movie. IMDb, you are wrong. I'm embarrassed for you. They're ghouls. They explicitly say that they're ghouls in the movie, too. It makes me mad. Anyway, so the policeman, played by Ed Nelson, his name's Jersey, he brings Allie in as like a consultant because she has psychic powers. Now, at the time that they recruit her, she is kind of at a low point in her life. She's very depressed. She talks about how hard it is for her to assist in investigations because a lot of times it's just her finding dead people and especially dead children. And
which makes sense. That's a horrible thing to have to deal with.
And she doesn't want to do it anymore. But she's very compassionate. She cares a lot about people, which you see in the movie. Like how she cares for Dana, like right away. She's very concerned about her. And she can't stay away. Once he comes to her for help, she can't stay away.
Yeah. And they have an obvious friendship. It's not just a working relationship. There's an obvious friendship there. He's more concerned, I don't think, about his cases as he is trying to get her out of her house. At one point he even says, you're building a tomb for yourself here.
Yeah. Which
really offended her. But later on in the movie, I think she realizes what he was trying to say and why. And so, yeah.
Yeah, there's some character development that does happen in this movie. And it happens organically. Like, the movie takes place over one night.
Yeah, a lot happens in a few hours.
Yeah, but a lot happens, and it does feel organic, the way that the character development's. Like, it doesn't feel rushed or anything.
No.
The story isn't amazing in this movie. Again, it just kind of becomes a creature feature, but the parts that do have heart are really good. That's part of why I really like this movie. I love Allie. I love her character so much.
No, and she's a really good actress. She showed a lot of emotion. I was surprised. At first, I'm like, oh, because when they come in and they're searching her house trying to find her, and neither one of them were acting very great. It was really like, oh, this is going to be a cheesy movie. Which,
yeah, it is.
It is.
It gets
However,
better. It gets better.
She really, when she showed emotion, like, she was really showing emotion. I thought, oh, I like her. I've never seen her in anything before, so.
She kind of went off grid. She didn't act in anything after this movie.
Really?
She disappeared.
Huh.
She doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Everything on her IMDb page is super sparse.
Really?
You can't find anything about her.
Huh. I think she had a lot of potential to be a very, very, very good actress.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to her, but I am sad because I definitely would have liked to have seen her in other things.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, good. Like, I totally respect her decision to, get out of acting.
Yeah.
But, she was great. She really is good. And if you watch this movie for any reason, watch it for Allie, because she's great. And if you love creature features, you'll like a lot of stuff in this movie, too. So she wants to look at the bodies, because she has to, like, feel things in order to, like, it's called psychometry, where she has to touch things, and she gets, like, impressions. Mm-hmm. And why are you side-eyeing me right now?
Because I'm trying to drink, and I was like, I don't want to make any noise, and then my cup clicked, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I thought you were, like, laughing at what I was saying. You were giving me a complex here. All right, anyway, so they head to the mortuary, and she wants to initially touch the children's bodies, but she's not allowed down there because she's not a cop. And Jersey's like, well, she's with me. While the desk lady, played by Phyllis Diller, is having none of it. She's very by the book. She has this poodle named Floofsums. That's Floof. Floof. S-U-M-S. I was like, wait, I lost it. Floofsums. And it's a mean old bastard. And it's a boy dog, but it has a pink ribbon, which you can put whatever you want on your boy dogs. I don't care.
I named my boy cat Lily, so there you go. It happens.
He was a very beautiful Lily, I'm sure.
He was.
So they just go to like a viewing room, and the head mortician there, he sends up a lock of the hair. She goes to a separate room to feel it out, whatever. Get her impressions. And meanwhile, the cops drop some exposition to each other about how she became psychic. Because the younger one, Mullins, he was like, oh, was she born like this? Whatever. And Jersey explains to him, she actually became psychic after she suffered from a miscarriage.
Which explains some of her depression with finding dead children.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked up. Because, I mean, she helped. It's told in the movie that she helped with other investigations, too. But the one that made her quit was a very gruesome, grisly, like, child murder. And she just never got over that, which, again, is fair. I mean, you have seasoned cops that retire because of certain cases,
For sure. So, yeah, I could never do that.
And, again, she was just, like, a lay person before this. Like, she literally called Jersey up one day, and they didn't know each other at the time, and it's like, hey, I can help you with your case. And he thought she was just, like, a nut job or whatever. But then she started talking to him, and that was when their working relationship started, because she helped him solve cases. And it's pretty clear at the beginning that the younger cop, Mullins, he doesn't really believe in it. So a few things happen. Before she decides to join the case officially, she does have this, like, waking nightmare / vision about... I don't know if it's supposed to be one of the child ghouls or what, but she has a dream about, like, this skeletal child, like, very creepy looking, and it kind of chases after her, but not quick. I don't want you to say, like, it's not like a chase, but it follows her until it's hugging her.
Wasn't it one of the children that she was investigating? Because when she went in the house after that to burn the pictures because she was done, wasn't that the little girl?
You're right, because she had the like the piece of cloth.
Yeah.
And so I guess the vision was like maybe the spirit of that child encouraging her.
Yeah.
Because it was
because
at
even
peace.
even though she found them dead, at least she was giving the children and their parents some kind of peace by finding them.
Yeah, closure.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that people will tell you when they lose a child or anybody that just disappears like that, that the worst part is you don't have closure. At least if you could bring them home.
Yeah.
Which I can understand.
Have something to bury.
Yeah, if it were my loved one, I would want to have them back whatever way I could. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So that's what encourages her to actually pull the trigger and do it. And they obviously don't really believe Mr. Trent's story at first about ghouls because it's fantastical, It just seems like he's maybe sick.
Yeah.
Mentally. Because, again, all intents and purposes, what it looked like to the police, this man kept 3 normal children in his basement and fed them human cadavers.
Yeah.
Which is very fucked up.
Yeah, pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they are like ancient jewels.
Ancient jewels.
They're ancient jewels. The fact that...
To the ancient ghouls.
The fact that they are ancient ghouls makes it less bad that he's feeding them human cadavers. But it's still bad that he's taking his cadavers as a mortician and...
True, but if nobody claims them, at least he's...
Yeah, Allie points out, like, he could technically take, anything from the chest down from human cadavers.
Oh, yeah, that bothered me. I was like, oh...
Yeah, it's a little fucked up. But she's not wrong.
No, well, I know. Some people check, though. I did when my dad died.
Really?
Well, because my dad said...
What did your dad say?
When I die, I want my shoes on. Now, my dad only had one leg. He wanted to be buried with his leg, obviously, his artificial leg.
Yeah.
But he only had... Well, he wasn't buried. He was cremated. He only had one leg, but he needed his shoes on. I'm like, why? He's like, so my feet don't get cold. I'm like, they are going to cremate you. They're going to burn your remains. He's like, I don't care. I don't want my feet cold. So all of us looked. We lifted the little, curtain that they have and looked to make sure his shoes were on him.
I actually kind of adore that. That whole story is kind of adorable.
That was my dad. Always my dad.
He was a beautiful person.
He was.
I'm sad I didn't get to meet him.
Me too. He'd have loved you. Oh, he'd have given you so much shit, and you'd have just given it right back. Yeah.
So his feet are forever warm.
They are forever warm. Yeah. It made no sound like they're going to fry you. You're being burned at 1,000 degrees. And he's like, I don't care. I want my feet cold. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we had to make sure he had his tennis shoes on.
All right.
Yeah. All right. We digress.
Yeah. So while they're arguing with Poop and Plots.
Poop and Plots. That is the lady's name. That's Phyllis Diller's character.
Yeah, which is the word. So she's Poop and Plots, and her dog is Floosums. It's so funny. It's like something I would have written in like 3rd grade or something.
Right.
So again, she's a stickler for the rules, and she's giving them a hard time. While she's giving them a hard time before they go into that private room for the viewing of the morgue and stuff, somebody delivers another dead body. And he goes through the lobby because the, hydraulic doors or whatever, they're not working. And so Poop and Plots is losing her shit about it. She's like, we have rules. Like, you have to deliver them downstairs, not up here. What are we? Like a circus? And he's like, well, the doors are broken, so I obviously can't go in that way. So everyone's arguing about it. And eventually, the 2 cops and he take the new dead body down there, and it's revealed to be a young woman who killed herself with a hairdryer in the bathtub.
Yes.
I don't mean to laugh, it's just kind of absurd.
That would not be the way I would go about it.
No. I think, everyone, if you have ever heard about electrocution in any way, it is not a good way to die.
No, it isn't.
So they head down. And the younger cop, Mullins, is going to watch the autopsy happen on this young girl. But as soon as they cut into her, she wakes up.
Yeah, they go to cut into her neck.
And they do cut.
And she wakes up.
Yeah. And I mean, her arm moves earlier in the movie. But you kind of think it's like, oh, is she a ghoul too?
Yeah, and the whole table that they're transporting her on, the bolt comes out and she falls, and when her hand's moving, nobody notices this because everything's just a big mess at the time.
It's pointed out to the audience, but none of the characters see it or think anything of it because again, everything just kind of goes into a disaster. Meanwhile, Allie is back in the observation room, feeling holding the hair. And she gets a vision of the past when this boy was first resurrected, which isn't really the right term. Because it's not him anymore. But some kind of ancient Japanese necromancer does some type of ritual that includes the parents cutting off their fingers. And he gives them to the boy, and the boy comes back. And she ends up being transported in the vision down to the morgue where the children are, the ghouls are.
Yes.
And she sees them all wake up.
Yeah.
And you can see in, behind them, there's, a glass window separating all the dead bodies from, the actual place where they do the autopsies and stuff. She can see all of the morticians and Jersey and Mullins and, everybody. Besides Poop and Plots, she's still upstairs.
Oh, Poop and Plots.
And so she gets scared by one of the ghouls. It sees her, and she gets scared back into her body, essentially. And she's like, oh, shit, I gotta warn them. They're gonna get eaten by all these ghouls.
Yeah. Creepy little children.
Yeah, and Poop and Plots won't give her the elevator key. Because, again, Allie is not allowed down into the morgue. It's against the rules.
Ridiculous.
So she's trying to convince Poop and Plots to call them and be like, no, it's an emergency. Like, I need to be down there. So I guess Poop and Plots is calling to kind of check on them because she's not giving up the elevator key.
No.
Well, Allie gets frustrated because Poop and Plots can't get through. Nobody's answering. And she's like, fuck you, lady. And she steals her keys. And Poop and Plots... I keep saying this name.
I think you like saying it.
Well, it is a fun name. It is a fun name to say. She sicks her dog on Allie. And the dog actually makes it into the elevator with Allie and goes down with her. And when she gets down to the bottom, she kicks the dog out of the elevator. I mean, you don't see it happen, but the dog, like, there's a yelping dog noise, and the dog runs out of the elevator.
Yes.
And everything is dead silent down in the morgue. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. She's peeking around hallways and doing all this shit. And
she grabs an axe.
Yep, which is so smart. I love that for her.
Right?
And, you know, she gets attacked by a ghoul, but Jersey saves her, and she finds the remaining people alive. They're all in this room, and it's Mullins and the girl that was getting autopsied.
Dana, right?
Dana, yeah, but she's, you know, they bandaged her, and she's okay. Mullins is taking care of her. Jersey, and then, what was that other mortician's name? Shepherd?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's all of them. And they kind of have to make a game plan because, you know, they have injured people, and they need to try to get out. But they're trapped by these ghouls. Now, again, the creature design is really good. Where it's stronger, and this is the case for a lot of, like, practical effects and stuff, is in semi-darkness.
Yeah.
When they come into the full light, it's not as good. They're still creepy, but it's just not as good.
Yeah.
They're just
cheesy.
They're creepy little bastards.
They are creepy little things, yeah.
I don't know if they cast, like, child gymnasts or something, but they're all very flexible and crawly and weird and creepy. Just super creepy.
Yep. I didn't like them.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, too, is, like, the whole Japanese ghoul thing, that's, like, really kind of creative. Like, have you ever seen a movie that had that as their monsters before?
No.
I think this movie would be amazing if it got a remake.
Yeah, I think you're right. If they did it right.
If they did it right, yeah. I mean, they'd have to get somebody really good for Allie again.
Yeah.
But if they did it right, I think this would be a really cool creature feature to remake. Because it really, I just feel like it's underrated. Oh, and how it is a Thanksgiving movie is the whole morgue is decorated for Thanksgiving. So there.
Fall decorations.
It says Happy Thanksgiving above the fucking desk that Poop and Plots is at.
It does. Thanksgiving movie.
Yes.
I'm expecting like a Thanksgiving meal. No. None that happens. I'm just like, how is she? And then I saw the decorations and I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yep. Eat your heart out, Thanksgiving. This was the original Thanksgiving horror movie.
Yes.
So they end up in an evidence locker. It's like kind of attached. And they have their little MacGuffin pipe bombs that come into play later on. Well, I shouldn't say pipe bombs are MacGuffins because they're actually dangerous. It's not just like something stupid, you know? And then they also find this weird Frankenstein machine gun thing.
Yeah. He comes out with that thing and starts shooting. I'm like, what in the hell does he have, and why is this a thing?
It was a hybrid. Like it was a Frankenstein gun.
Something
made of several different other guns. They end up splitting up because they hear the elevator. And they think someone is coming down, so Mullins has the gun, and Dana follows him because he has the gun, which, fair.
Yeah.
And when they get to the elevator, it's actually one of the ghouls. She was playing with the elevator key to see how it worked. So they have some type of, intelligence or whatever.
Apparently.
And, before this happened, they also heard... So the elevator went off twice. Once because Poop and Plots came down to look for her dog. And then the second time was when the girl ghoul came in. Yeah. So she goes into the elevator, I guess to try to go escape or something. Well, he very quickly shoves the nozzle of the gun into the elevator doors and just unloads. Totally wrecks this thing's shit. Everybody's obviously panicking because they can hear the gunshots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the elevator's totally shot. No pun intended. Well, kind of intended. So they can't use the elevator to get out. And then the hydraulic doors are also broken, so there's no way out. And so Mullins and Dana go in through the air vent, or not the air vent. Well, eventually they go through the air vent. But they go up on top of the elevator first to try to climb it, I guess. And one of the other ghouls follows them in. And what happens is they're able to make it out, and they get into the other room. And the other ghoul kind of hurts them a little bit, but nothing too bad.
No nasty ghouls.
Yeah, they escape. And let's see. Poop and Plots does not find her dog, but one of the ghouls finds her. And she actually shoves she goes into the specimen room, which is where they have all the chemicals and stuff, and she pushes over a cabinet on it, and it totally dissolves. But before it does, it grabs her by the scarf and force feeds some of its skull to her.
It's slimy, nasty, scully
It
grossness.
was really disgusting. It was terrible.
But she was saved, pulled away.
Yeah, the others find her at this point.
Yeah, and they pull her away, but
they try to get her to throw up.
Yeah.
All of the goo. And it's really gross.
It is really gross.
I was like, I would just die. I would just die at that point. I'd be like, take that gun, shoot it at me. Because there is stuff in my mouth that I will never untaste.
Yes, for sure.
Well, she turns into a ghoul.
A giant, bug-eyed ghoul.
Dude,
I loved her outfit. Like, the black was just across the boobs. It still had boobs and everything.
It was, very bondagey.
Yeah. It was like, oh.
Did you see her beautiful
eyelashes?
Yes. Yes, bitch.
All you girls would be jealous.
She was slaying. It was great.
Oh, my God. I laughed so hard. It's when she stood up. I'm like, oh, my God. Are you kidding me right now?
It was so good. It doesn't happen instantly. I don't want you to think that it happens instantly, because it doesn't. But it happens at the most inopportune time. And, God, how do they kill her?
Do they kill her with... No, that wasn't the one.
It was
they electrocuted her.
Yeah. It was with the... Dana did it, actually.
Yeah, with the electric box off the wall.
Yeah, she kicked the shit out of everybody first, though.
Yeah.
That was when Shepard was killed.
He was not killed. Oh, yeah, no, that was when Shepard was killed.
And Jersey was almost killed.
Jersey was almost killed, yep.
Yeah, so then it was just Allie, Mullins, the younger cop, Dana, and Jersey.
Yeah.
At this point.
The part that annoyed me so much with the sound was when they were on the high-low and they were trying to get out, and the sound of them banging into the walls and the doors or whatever.
Yeah.
It just was not good.
It wasn't matching up at all.
Oh, no. This is awful.
It was
Please
totally
just get done with this scene.
Yeah, it was just off rhythm or whatever. So, yeah, they kill her with the electrocution. They kill the... final ghoul with the forklift. They pin it against the wall, and you're like, oh, okay, the movie's over, they're gonna escape, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
they're
fine.
like, we're good, we're getting out of here, everybody's happy, life is gonna get back to life.
But then it cuts to the scene of the dog, the poodle, eating a little bit of dead ghoul. So obviously the dog has to turn into a ghoul as well, and it's the greatest transformation of all time.
It's so good.
It is something.
No spoilers, but let me tell ya,
You need to
watch this movie. Yeah. It's not what you expect. I was like, what the heck is happening?
The end of this movie kind of goes balls to the walls, honestly. Like, it starts with Poopin' transformation.
Which is just crazy. Because I don't understand it. Because the children are just children. Like, they're just ghouly little children. But Poopin' turns into this gigantic monster.
I think it has to do with personality.
It's like 100 times her size.
No, it has to do with the personality and how terrible of a person you are.
Could be.
I don't know. Like, the dog was a dick, so obviously it turned into a giant dog.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever. But so it starts with Poopin' transformation, because at this point, the little ghouls are all dead, and it's like, whatever, they're not that scary. And then, obviously you have the giant monster lady, and then there's the dog and explosions, multiple. Not just one, like crazy. Like
chases up ladders and...
Yeah, there is literally an insane amount of explosions for the end of this weird movie.
And not small explosions. We're like building explosions.
It's so funny. I think that's where all of their budget money went, was the explosions and the creature design, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
So they didn't have anything left.
Those eyelashes.
They didn't have any money left over for sound design.
I really wonder what happened to the Phyllis Diller doll. The scary monster. I would love to see that in person.
Oh my god, yeah, I hope it's in a warehouse somewhere.
Right? That would be so cool.
See. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That and the dog side by side.
So yeah, they do make it out. The four of them do make it out. And there's a very heartfelt ending.
Oh, there is. Super heartfelt.
Yeah, and again, it's, this movie is ridiculous. I'm not going to say it's the greatest of all time or anything, because it's not. It is very cheesy. The sound design is shit. However, some of the acting performances are really good. The creature design is awesome. There's lots to love.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, there's lots to love in this movie. And it is
a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Becky. I was going to say it's listed as a horror comedy.
Yes.
So it's not meant to be taken totally seriously.
No, for sure.
This isn't your, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Which we will be talking about in the future. Lizzie wants to be a guest on the show at that point because she wants to talk about how strong her hatred is of the Netflix remake that came out in 2022. Oh,
I've never watched it.
Oh, it's dog shit.
I don't watch a lot of remakes. We've talked about this.
It's bad. So yeah, that was The Boneyard.
Yep.
It's so fun. Aren't you glad you watched it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I didn't feel like that was genuine.
No, it was funny. I mean, I'd never seen it before, so...
It's kind of something I think that most people don't know about. I find it to be a hidden gem. Again, the reviews are not good. Don't fucking listen to the reviews. Just watch the movie. It's fun. Sometimes you just need to have a funny, silly movie.
Yeah. No, it's silly. It's got Thanksgiving decorations.
Because it's Thanksgiving. Because it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, exactly. Give thanks. What are you thankful for, Becky?
What am I thankful for?
Yes.
Everything. No, I'm thankful for my family and my friends and our podcast and make me and Sydney famous so we can retire and go to warm, wonderful places.
Yeah, it was sleeting today. Yeah. So that's fun.
I just want sunshine. I just want to follow summer. I just want to follow summer.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes. What are you thankful for, Sydney?
I, too, am thankful for the podcast and your friendship and our job.
We have a good job.
We do have a good job. I wish there were more hours in the day and I was less tired, and then we could spend a lot of more time podcast-related things.
Agreed.
Yeah. I want to bring up, we got one listener scary story. If you want us to do an episode on listener scary stories, we need more than one.
Yes.
I think we're going to release it as a quickie episode over the holiday, because we're obviously not going to be recording next Thursday because it is Thanksgiving. So, well, today, for those of you who are listening.
Yes.
We're not recording today. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food and be fat and stuff. Today the pod, tomorrow the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.